Vader Darrell, St. South Carolina finest, Orange County own.
Hey man, this your boy Mike, aka Booby. We got a special guest on today, so go ahead and
Definitely.
introduce yourself, man.
Thank you. My name is Daryl Israel. I'm executive director of Joshua's Work here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So
Hmm.
it feels good because usually I'm out in the community doing work. So it feels good to talk about sport, my other passion and love.
Hey, well, with that, Daryl, man, just give everybody a little bit of background on the type of work you do in the community, with your organization.
So what we do is we are a workforce development grassroots organization.
Mm-hmm.
So we work with young adults 15 to 24 years of age.
Mm-hmm.
We actually help them establish or at least identify their top skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do a skill assessment. From that skill assessment, we actually help create a career path based on things that they're interested in and so forth, and then help provide that support through creating that career path.
Okay, okay. So essentially, if I'm not mistaken, let me kind of like y'all kind of like how the old school guidance counselor used to be back in the days. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Exactly.
because now the guy, from what I understand, the guy counselor now they're just like, hey, what you want to do? Hey, I want to be a cook. Okay, hey, go to you know, one of the cook schools or something. They don't really give the kids any direction no more. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like just to get them, you know, just get them out their face and stuff like that. So it's not like y'all are, your organization is doing very good with that in the community, because a lot of, you know, folks that age of 15 and 24 really don't know what they want to do, or really don't have somebody to kind of like say, hey, maybe you need to look in this direction, you know, and see if this is a career path that you would like, you know, like to you know, take part of. So, hey man,
Exactly.
we definitely congratulate you, we uplift you, and we appreciate you for what you're doing in the community,
I
man.
got a
Thank you so very
question though.
much.
Hey, Dara, how did you come up with this idea, or how did you get the basis of doing this with the kids? Because I'm very interested to understand how did you come up with this concept of doing this.
Hmm.
Good idea. Actually, how I came up with this curriculum is something I took myself through. So what happened is in early part of 2000s, there was a lot of career change and there were some layoffs. I used to be in the mortgage industry.
Hmm.
And at some point I figured out, you know what? All right, I don't want to do this anymore. I had multiple years management experience, and I wasn't able to get even college. I actually took a skill assessment. And at that, doing that skill assessment helped me identify my top three skills of what I really wanted to do. And then when I looked at, all right, while I'm in college, what education is going to line up to that and what jobs, I was able to identify human resources. So that's how I was able to pivot and get into the human resources area. So I took that knowledge and that's what helped give me the, no, this is exactly what I want to do. I don't
Hmm.
have to hear from anyone saying, I think this is what you want to do. I know based on what my strengths are. And so that knowledge is, you can't take that away. And so I want to educate the kids, because if you can get that at an early age, is very empowering on no matter what type of job that you have, because you already know what you bring to the table and what your top skills are.
Oh man, that's great, man. That's great, Daryl. We, like I said, we definitely really appreciate you, and I know the people that you helped along the way definitely appreciate you and your organization, man. So kudos to you and your
Yeah,
organization,
for
man.
sure, for sure, for sure.
And hey,
Yep. And
man,
thank you all for your support for the tie event that we did. The support that you guys provided really helped us put
mhm.
on a really impactful event. So thank you for your support.
Man, no problem, man.
Appreciate
Anytime, man. Anytime you need us, man, just, you know, we're a phone call away, a text
it.
away,
So,
man.
yeah.
Just definitely hit us up.
Will do.
Hey, but with that being said, hey Mike, I'm gonna go ahead and pass the floor to you, man. You know, this you know what you want to ask Daryl, or what you want to talk about there. I know we're gonna be talking about sports, but you know,
Yeah, I mean, so I know we in March Madness right now,
yeah.
and everybody bracket probably shot. You know, Daryl even sent me and it was funny. It's so funny. People send me I had 9 people send me a bracket. I have never filled out a bracket a day in my life. So when Daryl sent me one, it was like I looked at him like I've never filled it out before. But that being said, by being March Madness, since it's now down to 16, who it's really not too many sleeper teams out there. The SEC has 7 schools left. The ACC has 1 school left, but Duke is a powerhouse. So I'm gonna ask Daryl. When I say Daryl, I'm gonna say Dr. Daryl because we got 2 Daryls on. I'm gonna say
Okay.
Dr. Daryl. Who do you think now out of the 16? Who do you see now coming out of this thing and try to hold up the trophy at the end of this?
It's hard to not go with Florida. And the reason why, I know they're a popular pick, but I've got to see them up close in person when they put it on my squad, the Tar Heels here in Charlotte. And I can tell you they have quickness at guards. They can shoot the 3. They have big men, so they can play a slow down game, up tempo game. They defend at all levels. So it's literally, can they all just continue to put it together? Because, one bad game and you're going home.
Yeah.
But overall, I think hands down, they're the best team overall right now.
Well, I know when UConn the other day, people were saying that, oh, here we go. But like I tell people, UConn is the defending national championship 2 years in a row. So they weren't going to lay down just because of number 1 seed Florida. The seasons are just for the fans. But you got to understand, UConn and Coach Hurley is not going to let them just fall like that. So I wasn't really shocked that Florida they really got punched in the mouth. But shoot, in defense, they came back and won that game 1-2. The name of this tournament is win. I don't care if it's by 1. You try to win and move on. Because that might be their worst game they play in the tournament. Exactly. I have watched Florida play 2 or 3 times this year, and they are legitimate. Right. I still say Duke has a chance if everybody stay healthy to pull it out. But I got a dark horse, and my dark horse is still Alabama, which is still in there.
You saw
Alabama with Sears, with Sears and the white kid. I can't forget his name.
Grant.
Yeah. So listen, they are a sleeper team, and like I say, it's so loaded. But I'm gonna tell you, the team is gonna get knocked out first. It won't shock me at all. Is Auburn? Auburn going to get knocked down quickly. I just don't see them. I just some about their play is not there. But Arkansas is another sleeper team. John Calipari that went down there. They pretty much took them boys from Kentucky. He got Wagner over there playing for him. The Wagner was at Kentucky with him. He transferred over there with him. So it's gonna be a dynamic. This weekend coming up is gonna be dynamic. The cream of the crop is up. But I just want to know from you, who do you think was gonna probably take it out? And Daryl, who you think gonna take it out?
I would have to agree with Dr. Daryl myself, man. I watched Florida play this year, man, a couple of games, man, and like you said, they got all four facets of the game. Like you said, they got guard play, they got 3-point shooting, they can defend, they can play big if you want to play big, they can go small, however you want to play. They got everything covered, man. So you got a team that got everything covered, it's hard to beat a team like that, man. Some teams may have 1 or 2 things. They may have a quick guard or may have good guard play, but they may not defend well. Some teams may defend well, but they're not really good at scoring. You know what I'm saying? Florida, man, they got everything, man. So however you want to play it, how Tony say, whatever you want, they can provide.
Now, I know me and Mr. Darryl was talking earlier. What do you think? I know you're a Tar Heel fan, so I'm going to ask, since we are in Charlotte, what do you think to get that mystique back? The Chapel Hill used to be where everybody wanted to go. Has the NIL kind of really threw a monkey wrench in the Tar Heels, or they just haven't got the right recruits? Because Duke's still getting their players, but why has Chapel Hill kind of, not say they fell off, but let's be honest. The talent level they have been getting the last 3-4 years ain't been the talent level of the Vince Carters, the Antoines, or the Stackhouses, or the Rasheed Wallaces. So what do you think what do you think Tar Heels need to do to turn it around to get back to that point?
Identity. NIL is one, right? Because the star players now can go anywhere. And the SEC has really provided a lot of money to upgrade their basketball programs. And so now it is not just Carolina and Duke and maybe a Kansas or UCLA. you have a lot of other teams that are going, come here because we can pay you. And that really level set. So now it's the culture fit. I think our current coach is an excellent X's and O's coach. I've watched him put in plays, literally call a play, direct the star where to get the ball. He gets the ball and scores immediately. So X's and O's, I think he's a good coach. Now, can he recruit the top talent? That's the remains to be seen, because I think he's so set on creating the Tar Heel environment, and it's an old school environment. So the sad part and good part about it is I think Carolina Duke has switched as a program. Meaning back in the day, Duke had a bunch of role players.
Yep.
And the Tar Heels had the star players.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we're flip-flop. Duke is getting all the star players that are going to the NBA starting, and the Tar Heels are getting the role players. The difference is Duke was still winning championships with role players. So either we have to upgrade, and what we're doing is the Carolina culture in this NIL environment, preventing them from breaking through and winning championships, at least getting to the Final Four.
That's a great insight, and you're exactly right on that. Like I said, the culture has switched between Duke and Carolina. You know, Duke would get players. You like, man, dang, where these guys from? You know, hey man, where he got this person from? But they would be hard nosed, you know, gritty players, and I think that's why Carolina they need some players that got some dog in them, that got that's hard nosed, that may not be the quote unquote big name, because you don't have to have the big name players. But if you got a player, when you put him out there on the court, every time you ain't got to worry about asking him, man, play hard, play defense. You ain't even got to say that to him. Every time you see him out there, he hitting the floor. Hey, let's D up. You know, them the type of players you need.
He said that, and I have never, much as I watch sports, I never thought about the concept what he said. That is so true. Duke getting all the star players, Carolina get the role players. Like, okay, for a prime example, what Dr. Darryl saying is Shane Battier was a role player, but he made himself into a long journey in the end because he played defense. He knew his role. Carolina used to get the big stars coming out of everywhere. And now it's just like, I'm looking at them like, man, they not, but he said another thing is important. Everybody know SEC for football. Everybody know that. But you got to understand also, if you got the most money in the SEC, everybody know they're going to come for football. Now the SEC is throwing their money around in basketball. So we were saying this earlier, Darryl, about on the podcast. We were saying it about 4 or 5 episodes ago. You don't have to go to the same schools every year. To okay, look at the kid go to Boise State, the running back Gentry. He about to come out. He's from the state of Florida, but he was way to Boise State, and look at him now. He'll be a top 10 pick. So you don't have to stay in the school that just because Florida State or Florida or you know anywhere down. You don't have to Miami. You don't have to stay in these areas just to be seen. But everybody now is gonna be seen. It's about the money. It's about the fit for you. And for this kid to go from way from Florida to Boise State to sit out there, he probably said, you know what? I might go to Florida or Miami or Florida State and be the second or third running back. I go to Boise State, I'll be the first. So why? That's what I was saying. Why not go ahead and go somewhere where you're going to play day one? And once you get on that, you can show everybody what you're about. So what Dr. Darryl is saying is so true.
Yeah, and that's the key, Mike and Dr. Darryl, like how we were saying, with the NIL, like I said, with social media now, it ain't like how it was back in the days where you would have to read the newspaper to see, you know, who was the best player back in the day. Now, like I said, you can put it on social media, coach like, hey man, y'all might want to check this person out. Y'all might want to check this person out. The money is about the same at every school. Like I said, SEC may have a little bit more, but pretty much, you know, you got a kid that may be coming out of the projects or maybe coming out of, you know, a broken home or where they ain't really got much money, but that little bit of money they get from the NIL is enough to take care of them, help take care of them and their family back home, and they can get playing time. Because all players really want to, hey man, I want to be on the court. I don't want to be sitting second and third string, you know, when I'm gonna get my chance. You know what I'm saying? Now they can go to these schools and start immediately. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go to a Fresno State. I'll go to, like I said, a Boise State. And I know I'm gonna get some playing time. I'm gonna be playing. And like I said, you got the social media, everybody got eyes on you, so everybody gonna see what you can do.
Well, I want to switch gears right quick. Since I did speak to Mr. Darrell, Dr. Darrell earlier, he told me his team is the same as mine, the pros. The NFL draft is coming up less than a month away. You're a Carolina Panther fan, you like I am. How? Give me an assessment of what you think how Bryce turned the season around, and give me an assessment if you was the general manager right now. I'm asking you, as you're the general manager, what would you do with the 8th pick for the Panthers? I'm gonna give you the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Good question. So, first part, Bryce Young. I'm usually one of those. I assess a quarterback in 3 years, right? So, first year, if you bomb, that's okay. Rookie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that Peyton Manning bombed his first year.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it. I grew up before we had the Carolina Panthers. I was a Cowboys fan. Troy Aikman bombed his first year, won one game. But you see, all of them turn out to be Hall of Famers. So you can bomb your first year. That's okay. I know I look at Cam Newton. He didn't. He had a very successful first year. He struggled his second year. Because now teams are starting to, all right, we know what you like. You saw CJ Stroud this year, his second year, have a little bit of a down year. Not a bad year, but a little bit. Now, his receivers being hurt had an impact on that. But it was still not the same as his rookie year, right? So it's that third year. Okay, you have potentially some success. You've had some, some downturn. So now do you figure it out? And so last year, of course, first year, just throw that out. He was terrible. So last year, new coach again, the way he started out, I was ready to recycle him and said maybe he wasn't because he was worse than year one. And you want to see progress. However, after he got sat down and Andy Dalton came in and really just said, you know what, this is probably my last year to start. I'm just gonna have fun. And he just went out and had a ball, and they won some games. The receivers got involved. He got to see that. It gave him a true chance to reset. And it was almost like, okay, I'm back. And he looked like the quarterback that we drafted who played at Alabama and played against top defenses that were coming out of the SEC that are dominating the NFL right now. Trust me, Philadelphia has a bunch of those.
Bunch of them.
On their lineup, right? So he's faced a lot of those same defenses and players. So it's not new to him. And the fact that he started picking up, I'm like, we have a quarterback. So I'm not concerned about that. I think for the 8th pick, the second part, I still think we need a number one receiver. We do not have a number one receiver. We're doing more with the offensive line. We're doing more with the defensive line. If we go really with the defensive end or wide receiver in the first round, I'm okay. Because that's what we really need to get a solid number one receiver. We haven't had one in a while.
Now let me ask you this.
Steve Smith, he wasn't even a number one receiver. He was the best receiver we had.
So let me ask you this. You made a good point. Do you see that kid out of Arizona, Steve Smith? I've been watching a lot of people, a lot of analysts now. He's fallen a little bit in the draft. That Chet McMillan guy. If you're the Panthers, would you take him or would you bypass him and go for a DN? Because me personally, I watched him a couple of times. I'm not high on him like everybody else. I mean, he's like a one-trick pony for me. So I know we don't have a number one receiver. I understand that. But for me personally, I get it, but my philosophy is I can get a bunch of Adam Thielens and Jalen Cokers and them kind of guys. I can do a lot, but I need a receiver that can take the top off. I need a speed receiver. But so far as that kid out of Chet McMillan, the reason I'm asking that, would you take him or would you bypass him? That's what I want to know from you.
I'm not that sold on him. And in fact, for me this year, there's not a lot of receivers that really just jump out. But here's what I would say. I've found a trend in the NFL that somehow you have to get your quarterback a receiver that they had in college and had a connection with and had success with. He's worked in Cincinnati. Heck, it's even what the Texans went back and got one of CJ Stroud's receivers, right?
Yeah.
So there's some kind of connection with that because there's already they already know exactly where they want the ball, or
Yeah.
the receiver knows where the quarterback is going to go without thinking, because
Mhm.
they've already had potentially 3 and 4 years together, if
Mhm.
not played in high school together. And so now they have multiple years. It's something about that that's just instinctual, and you give your quarterback just that extra confidence. And so
Mhm.
now with the fact that Bryce has been out for a while, some of these I don't know who's out there right now
Mhm.
that really says that needs to be it, which is why I said if they get a defensive end, because we need some edge rushers too. If they get that in at the 8th pick, I'm okay. Especially if we're able to get maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round. I'm just glad we have draft picks. We almost didn't have any draft picks, so they made some moves.
Mhm.
But we can get maybe a receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round.
All right,
I-
this is.
I,
Oh, go
let
ahead,
me,
Darren.
since
Go
y'all
ahead.
was saying about that receiver from Arizona, y'all said a lot of people not really high on him. Me, I'm a little bit different about it, and I'm gonna tell you why. I could see him in a role as just like they had the Carolina Panthers had Muhsin Muhammad. He may not be as fast, but he big and he can get them jump balls.
But
You know what I'm saying?
what the problem with me with that is everybody around here wants to get a number one receiver, this, that, and the other. We haven't given Jalen Coker or Leggett a legitimate chance in their 2nd year. We already talking we need another receiver. How many more receivers? You got to give these guys time to develop. Steve Smith won Steve Smith his first year when he was a receiver.
True.
So my thing
True.
is Jalen Coker can be a Muhsin Muhammad. He can be that type of player.
True.
So why would you go draft and Jalen Coker is 6'4"? This kid is 6'5". He ain't running that much faster than he's not taking the top off. He's not no Tyreek Hill or nobody like that. So if it ain't nobody with speed is running 4.2, 4.3 that's going to take the top off and going to scare people, I'm not going to waste. Now, what I would ask Dr. Darrell, I want to ask either one of y'all this question. I just saw a mock draft just today from ESPN. I just saw one. They were saying that a dual Carter going to fall to 6 to, I think it was Jacksonville. Now, I don't believe that's going to happen, but the way, this is what ESPN had. Would you be willing to trade up a couple picks to go get a dual Carter? Because that's who I really want.
Yes.
Okay. So would you trade some draft capital? So say fans, just hypothetically, we know 8. Say we're gonna play a game. Say Cam Ward goes 1, say Travis Hunter go 2, say Shador go 3. Then ESPN had some offensive lineman from Missouri going 4, I think. And then they had another player going 5. They had Mason Graham going like 10. I'm just saying hypothetically, say if the Panthers sitting at 8 and the dual Carter's not going in number 4 yet or number 5. Would you trade a future 2nd or even 2nd round pick this year to move up a couple spots to go get a dual Carter? Who's going to be a Michael Parsons? Would you do it?
Hands down, yes. He has that motor that you want. That is a game changer on defense, period.
Yes.
You think about it, you can line him up as a linebacker or you can put him on the line. Either way, depending on where you want to go. He adds so much pressure, speed in the passing game and the running game. So, and he has this chip on his shoulder that even though he was a top player at Penn State, he still played like he had a pail and a hard hat. So he brought it game in, game out. Even when he was hurt through the playoffs, he was still
playing,
one of the top players, even though he was really only playing with one arm.
One shoulder.
Yeah. I would definitely do that.
Like how you said, if he do go down, Carolina ain't gonna be able to get him because you got Jacksonville, you got Las Vegas Raiders. They ain't letting no that dual Carter go.
They said the Raiders going to take Alvin Gentry at 6. That's what I was seeing. So we don't know. Like, okay, what it was, I remember number 4. New England's number 4. They said New England would take an offensive lineman to block for Drake May. We all seen what happened with Patrick Mahomes. If you ain't got an offensive line, you ain't got a chance in the world to win.
True.
We seen that with Philadelphia Eagles when they played Patrick Mahomes. And everybody know right now this is a copycat league. Everybody is loading up for their defensive front to be because both of y'all know this. Both of y'all know this when I say this. Your front 4 helps your back end out. People always say J.C. Horn didn't have an intercept, this, that, and the other. Well, let me ask you this. If you got to sit back there and cover 4, 5, 6 seconds, everybody gonna get open. But if you got when Derrick Brown come out, just close your eyes for a second and just imagine you had a dual card on one side, you had Derrick Brown in the middle, and the guys that we got from the deep tackle we got, and you have just say Clowney on the other side. You tell me they're not gonna put pressure on the quarterback by then?
They will, but then just like how you just now said, just a copycat league. Everybody want them defensive rushes, them 4 men you can put up when you ain't got to worry about sending no safety or no linebacker. You can just drop back and cover. So if it's a copycat league, they ain't letting Abdul Carter go past no 5 or 6.
It ain't such. It's not a such thing as letting them go. If you offer a package for them, anybody willing to jump.
True, but they're gonna have to give us some first round draft picks for that. For him.
Well, the only thing you got to do, you can just switch your 4 pick. If you say it's number 4 pick, you can switch your 8 pick to number 4, and then you can say, "Well, I give you my second round." If you really believe this guy, then just imagine if this guy is anything like Michael Parsons, just take him. Come on now, if he's anything like Michael Parsons, Dr. Darrell said the same thing. He's a game changer. That means you put him on the edge. I don't care. You're gonna get a generational defensive end. Give it to me.
But that's not what I'm saying, Mike. I'm saying like this right here. You think you think these teams gonna have a brain fart like how the Giants let Saquon Barkley go and let a generational player
That's different. That's different.
Carter walk
They dumb. They dumb. That's dumb.
But what I'm saying. So
the Giants do dumb things every time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is those teams are not going to let Abdul Carter walk past them like that. I'm sorry.
No. But remember, he has an injury. So that's the reason why he went from potentially hands down by the end of the playoff, he was supposed to be potentially the number 1 pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because of the injury, now it's like, well, top of the first round. So you never know. Some of these teams may go, yeah, he's good, but with that injury, would he be ready year 1? I need someone right now. And so maybe they're willing to play possum and say, yep, we're going to draft him to get draft capital versus getting nothing. You get another player, and then he falls potentially to the Panthers.
But they said he never. They asked him about the injury, and they were thinking about saying, "Hey, maybe you need surgery." He was like, "Man, I ain't never know I was hurt." What they did was when they, he was like, "I've been playing like this my whole time." What they did was when they did his medical stuff. And they saw the little buildup, the calcium buildup or something in his foot. They was like, "Oh man,
Well, they say he had a stress fracture. They thought he had a stress fracture in his foot.
Yeah, but he said he ain't never. He said his foot was hurt.
But you heard what Dr. Darrell just said was a great point. If teams are afraid to say, "Hey, he got a foot problem or whatever," if you the Panthers, that's just like saying, "Are you going to take a? You got to roll the dice on somebody." Right. Yeah. Well, how many people has the Panthers rolled on over here? I can name a bunch of receivers right now off the top of my head. Kelvin Benjamin, Kerry Colbert, Dwayne Jarrett. We done have Jonathan Mingo 2 years ago in the second round.
Yep.
So that's why another reason I say the receivers, for some odd reason, you have Steve Smith inside that building, inside of y'all. You can get to him. He is a great observation of the receivers. They need to go talk to him before they start, because he said the other day on his podcast he would not touch Tech McMillan. That's what he said. And I trust him. I trust him.
But if the receiver is there, maybe you don't have to get him at number 8. But I like Golden. Golden for Texas, balled out.
But see, you can trade back. You can trade back to get that. You can get some more draft capital for that. Exactly. That's what I'm looking at. So you can stockpile picks. But my thing is, if I'm in the general manager seat right now today, and I'm sitting there, and we already went over all the scenarios before the draft started, and I'm looking at it like, hey, if Abdul Carter gets number 4, we're going to make a phone call to the New England Patriots. Hey, what are you willing to give us? I mean, what we got to give y'all to move and swap 4 spots to get to 4 to 8, then we'll get the Abdul Carter. Because if he falls to 4, I'm making a phone call, and I'm hurrying calling. I don't care what the draft capital come out. We got to get a DE in here, because when you had, remember Julius Peppers? Remember we had Julius Peppers, Mike Rucker, and Brenton Buckman, and Chris Jenkins. Remember that front 4? People can't even tell me who the back end was, because guess what? The front 4 was killing people. Right. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a front 4 to do that kind of stuff. So
see, that's still on the. See, that's the thing about Carolina, man. And sometimes I think they be giving up too much of their draft capital, man, for players. Like, and then they be kind of like in a little bind. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
in the past we have. I agree. We've given up way too much for players who don't pan out, or for role players.
Yeah.
But I like the moves that's been made so far. You can tell we're trying to build something. So with the foundation that's happening, you can be very strategic about particular players that exactly want and what talent versus now where before they were just trying to get pieces. I think we've identified some pieces. Now get the talent that's going to take you to the next level.
True. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. Yeah. Okay, well, let me ask you, Dr. Daryl, real quick. What do you think about the injury to Juju? I know a lot of people are saying that she hasn't been getting a lot of publicity like how the Caitlin Clark has been getting. What's your take on that?
I hate that for that young lady. She was having a phenomenal year. She wasn't getting nowhere near the attention Caitlin Clark was.
Yeah.
But she is a excellent player. My hopes and prayers that she's able to come back even stronger next year, with the fact that with the ACL is usually about a year at the end of this year, so we're probably not going to see her next year. The good and the bad of NIL, right, is the fact that she's probably going to be in college for 3 or 4 years because she's going to make more at USC than she would in the WNBA. So I'm just being honest. So at least we're not like going to lose a year and then maybe, next year and then she's gone. We should still get another solid 2 years to watch her develop and keep growing. But I hope she does have a full recovery.
Yeah. Because isn't that the same injury that what's the girl had from UConn, Paige Bruckers, and she had that ACL? She had it twice, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, and she was able to come back and be still look like her old self. So I like I said, I think Juju will make a full recovery and she'll be just fine. Yeah.
And like I say, man, before we end this, another person I want to speak on before we lost George Foreman this past week. He was 76 years old, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Just want to give our condolences to him and his family, all his sons and stuff out there. So we want to think about everybody out there. And like I say, I want to piggyback what Mr. Darryl and Dr. Darryl said about Juju. I was watching it when it happened last night, and I almost was in tears because I was like, please get up. But, like I say, this young lady, when she does get in WNBA, I think both of you said the same thing. Caitlin Clark is the end all be all. But like I say, we understand that she is phenomenal. But let's don't get it twisted. You got Angel Reese's, we got the Breonna Stewart's in there, we got the Angel Wilson in there. So the WNBA as a whole is going to get better with this young lady. But when I say she reminds me of Kobe Bryant so much, it's not even funny. That's who she reminds me of. So let's just send our prayers out to her. Hopefully she have a speedy recovery, get back well. Like I say, anything else you want to add to this, Darryl, to Dr. Darryl? Because I want to say thank you so much for being here. But I want to ask you also, we will be having a pre-draft party at the house, and I hold it here on that Friday. Well, Thursday night, we won't be able to do it. My daughter's birthday is the night actually of the draft. So I got to be at a dinner. But we're going to have guests over at my house Friday night, do second and third round. You're more than welcome to come through here, to sit in here with all the people, because it'll be my dad's family and my brother. Darryl will be here. We're going to shoot live that night. So you're more than welcome to come, because we're going to be covering the draft all the way up to the day of the draft. So like I say, I want to say thank you again for coming on, taking time out of your busy schedule. Any parting words you want to say, Darryl? Dr.
Darryl? I'll just say, as you can see, I have one of my top players, Kobe, behind me. And it's about that Mamba mentality, right? Always trying to be a better version for yourself. And that's something that I apply in my life and also try to impart in others. So I appreciate y'all for having me. Put the invite out. I'm going to have to show up for the draft party in my old school Peppers jersey.
Yes, sir.
Tar Heels and Panthers, so I get to put it together. I can definitely be there and look to support that way. So thank you for having me.
And like I say, man, don't be a stranger to this. Like I say, with you not, we're going to have you on. So don't be upset if we text your car and say, hey, we want to get on. Because like I say, we just sit like here and talk about sports, music, and entertainment. And this is what we do. So, Darryl, you got anything else you want to add to it?
Hey, man, I just want to appreciate Dr. Darryl for calling, man. Coming in and on us, man. Thank you, man, for allowing us into your home and having your point of view and giving us your insight on, like I said, on the WNBA, on the NFL, and on the work that you're doing in the community, man. Keep doing what you're doing. It's not in vain, and this sorely needed, because people need to know exactly what they want to do in life, instead of just trying to figure it out, all happenstance and stuff like that. So, like I said, I want to give you congratulations. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, man. See you next time, Daryl.
All right,
Peace
have
out.
a good one.
Peace out.
Peace out.